What's going on, beautiful people? Welcome back to another episode of the After You Cast. I'm sat down with another special guest. All of my guests are special, just letting you know that. But yeah, we're going to sit down and talk about, we're going to switch up the topics a little bit and bring in something we haven't had a chance to talk about before, which is fashion, modelling, and just kind of what that scene's all about. And it's always good to hear from people that are actually in that scene. So without further ado, please introduce yourself to the people.
Hi guys, I'm Rachel. Yeah.
I like it. It's sweet. See, that's what I'm saying. To the point.
That I'm Rachel.
Rachel, that's, as you should know. But yeah, Rachel is kind of big in the modelling scene and comes from a very successful family, and also is adding to that legacy by just finding her own independence, which is quite dope. You know what I mean? Like, I've seen what you've been up to.
We trying, man. We trying.
That's what I'm saying. Like, this is why I like bringing people that are from Slough that are actually doing really positive things like onto the platform, because I think there can be a bit of a perception that, you know, you look at the environment or parts of Slough and you're kind of like, you know, it's
the hood.
Yeah, you're like, it's a bit gritty, it's a bit rough. Like, what is there anything actually good? And you know, that's why I created this space, because I wanted to showcase that, like, yo, there's actually some really creative and some really inspirational people that have come from Slough, and we're trying to like walk in that same path. I bring on loads of different types of people, from athletes, musicians. Some of you have already got the chance to see them, but there's also a younger crowd that are kind of trying to find their feet and explore different avenues. So yeah, we're just going to get into a little conversation about just your background, and let's start off with, because I know I've got a little bit of prior experience that you was previously working and doing athletics, working in that side of things. So tell me a little bit more about that, because I only ever see you kind of doing like sprints and doing your training and stuff. I didn't get a chance to see like,
as in like kind of how I got into it.
Yeah, like how did you manage? First of all, how did you get into sprinting? How did you like choose that as a path? Was it kind of like a self-discovery?
The funny thing was, from like year 6, I'd always like line up the boys and like try and beat them in school.
Trying to show them up.
Literally, I was always like,
stress, you know?
Whenever anyone would be like,
on the playground.
I'm faster than you, I'd be like, let's go then.
Oh Lord.
And I'd have to race them and then like, don't ever say you're faster than me. And obviously with like my brothers, Isaac and Jordy are quite quick anyway, and so is actually Hillary. She's really fast as well. So I guess from that environment, you know, running after the boys and stuff like that, I think I went into school, like I started secondary school in year 8. My PE teacher actually called up my dad and said that he should get me to a club because I'm really fast. And then from then, like, joined a club, and yeah, that was pretty much it.
Did you start at Windsor Slough?
No, I started Wickham Phoenix.
Oh, okay, cool.
So we moved to
that's right, I remember you moved,
Beaconsfield, So he found it was between Windsor Slough Eton and Wickham Phoenix, but I guess Wickham was just closer. Okay. So I went for Wickham Phoenix and like started in like year 8, and then kept it going till 18, and then
that's a good amount of time.
Whole life,
I was to say, you must have been down there doing some training. Like one thing I do know, like obviously my pops doing athletics back in the day, is the training is rigorous.
It's brutal, it's like
rigorous, and it's unseen as well.
Exactly.
Like football training is kind of like you see it in the
you
park.
See them like
everyone's having fun and that.
To the left, jump to the side.
I'm telling you, like now. From what I've done a little bit of like athletics, like pre-season training and stuff. It's like hidden. It's like you don't really see it. It's like utilizing nature and everything. Like so, tell us a little bit about like.
I guess like with training, because I started quite young, they'd say. Had like a younger group. So I'd only go once a week, and we'd basically like, you know, do some drills, but it wasn't very serious. So that was somewhat fun, because like once a week it wasn't too much.
It's lighthearted.
It was just fun, and like my school, like a couple friends from school would go there, so it was just like, oh, it's cool, I have friends. And then it was like my coach at that time was like, it's time for you to bump up.
Cool.
And it was the biggest shock to my system. Like it was like I went from, you know, running around doing relays to like 150s, like 3 sets of 4 150s and stuff like that, and it was just like,
it's different.
What? But I remember like when I first joined the older group, I'm someone that's very competitive, so after the first session.
Wait, did you show up? Did you have spikes on day one? Or did you
no, I didn't. I had to do it in trainers.
That's what I'm telling you. Yeah.
So I was just
nice.
like,
you gotta do that.
It was horrible because
everyone's
faster than
around.
you. Exactly. So it's like I stand up like, you know, just with myself.
Yeah, as you do.
And a bottle of water.
Yeah.
And everyone had spikes. Some even had blocks. Yeah. And I was just looking around. I was like,
got blocks.
okay. I was like, okay, cool. Okay. And then I remember after the first session, they're like, "Oh, just tuck in," and I hate it when people tell me that. I'd rather you just throw me in and you know, I die. Yeah. But they were like, "Oh, just tuck in at the back," and I was just like, ugh. Fine. So I'd always try and creep forward and like, no, Rachel, just stay at the back so that we can like whatever. And then by the end of the session, I knew who I wanted to beat. Okay, yep. So I already knew who my targets were. By the end of the session. Cool. So I was like, okay. Did you make that, or did you? No. I just saw them. Oh yeah. And then it was just me being super competitive. I like that. And that's like wanting to be the best.
So you was just like scoping them out.
Yeah.
Cool,
literally.
Cool.
From it was like, you just look at me funny. I already want to beat you.
Alright, cool.
So it's like by then I had 3 people that I wanted to beat, and I remember like after my first year of training, we had like district competitions, like you race other schools. Yeah, cool. So I know. I think I need to. And there was one girl. She became my nemesis, like for the rest of my athletic career.
There's
like,
always one on that.
Yeah, she was literally, she beat me that first year. I said, okay, cool. Next year you're not going to beat me. And then from then on, it was just me beating. It would literally be competing against each other. It'd be me beating her until like before I stopped. Okay. And that's when she beat me. But even then, I'm like, I was just not in the right frame of mind. I was getting to the event. It was me. I was the problem. So it was
competition.
It was crazy. The first training session. And it was quite a shock, but I think it suited me as a person. Because it was just like, okay, fine. Like it's hard, and like you have to challenge yourself a bit, but when you're in front, then it's just like, oh, it's just cool. Yeah,
well, it's like you set yourself a goal, and it's like it starts off quite fun, like you said, it allows you to get in there, but once you kind of have like a purpose and you say, oh, okay, now I want to get this much better, or I want to beat that person, gives you a bit more of a targeted approach.
Definitely.
Do you know what I mean? So like, no, that's wicked. And it's interesting as well, because obviously I know most people in our area, they kind of just go straight to Windsor. But like, what was Wickham like? Was it a good track?
The Wickham track, it was actually quite good. Obviously predominantly white,
as we know.
Literally.
Most
So it was like very white, but I made friends I think I'm someone that makes friends very easily. So, but competition wise, I'd say I guess I was the best, because even when we did bucks and stuff, like there was only one girl, Sophie, that could beat me in the 100, but like everything else was like me. Absolutely. So it was like when I went to other competitions, when I was running against like Windsor, Slough, Eton, Thames Valley Harriers and all these different clubs, I was like, okay, cool. It like made me think, okay, you need to step this up as well, because it's like, okay, this is just a small pool. Like when you get out broaden there, like you need to be on point. Absolutely. So it was small. It wasn't as big as Windsor. It was a very small club. Like everyone knew everyone. But I think it was only till like I started competing that I actually started becoming cool with everyone. When you start like when you wear your vest, innit? That's when like you actually start becoming closer to people. Because obviously there are different training groups, like long distance and stuff like that. So only competition that you actually merge together properly. So it was then that I already had friends in my group, but then I started making other friends like in the other groups and stuff. So, you like broaden out. Like I mean, I remember when I did some briefly with Windsor, Slough and Eton, and I did competed and did long jump, and helped out with like the relay, and How'd that go?
Yeah, it was good actually. Like I think we came second.
Yeah.
And, like because I wasn't supposed to like fill in that space. There, guys, everyone, all the 100 runners and stuff.
Yeah.
But there was just like anyone else that was kind of quick. They could run. So I ended up.
Might as
second
well.
there. Yeah, but it's really cool because you get to meet loads of different athletes from different areas. Like, you know, Haringey and like there's loads of different teams. And I think it was Bedford. I think the meet was. But yeah, it was interesting just seeing different people from all over the
And
country.
I just see like other people's abilities as well.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, I feel like with athletics you have to be delusional.
To a degree, yeah. Especially if you're doing like 400.
Yeah, that's
400 hurdles, and those guys there.
They're mad people. But you know what? I've spoken to a couple 4 hurdlers, and they were like, they find it easier than the 4 flat. And I was just like,
okay.
I don't get that because I always just think like, you know, the last 100 of 400, like lactic kicks in whether you like
time.
it or not.
Yeah.
And then you have to jump over hurdles. Doesn't make sense to me. But.
Then again, they don't in general because they are just on a different fitness level than
it's
most
true.
people.
But then they see it as like a 1, 2, 3 jump, 1, 2, 3 jump, 1, 2, 3 jump. So they to them they can count their stride, something to look forward
That's
to.
it might even probably bring down the thoughts of like worrying about the lactic build up towards the end, or maybe you can hold it off a bit longer. Who knows? But 400. It's probably, I'd say, one of the toughest, if not the toughest, because it's just a long sprint, isn't it?
But you know what? I think it's just the way you run it.
Yeah.
Because before they would say like, you know, you sprint the first 100 coast and then start building it back up again, and then the last 100 you
can just
you
do
just
what
pray
you can.
and hope for the best.
You hope you don't fall off.
Literally. But I don't believe in that because I just feel like the way I'm set up, if I sprint the first 100, I'd be dying.
Yeah, that's what you mean. Yeah.
So I'd rather just be building it up and then coast and then start trying to build it up again, get like the second push and then
go
hope for the best.
closer towards the end.
Exactly, and then die.
Yeah, because it's like you don't know how much to give, and it's like gauging that point is difficult because if you go too hard,
you can't breathe.
Yeah, I learned the hard way doing 1500 one time.
I don't know. I could never.
Listen, I did that. No, I just filled in again. I was just helping. Like,
even then, I could never. They know not to ask
I was gassed. I started off. I was just like, okay,
I've got this. I'm quick.
It went off. Yeah, no, literally, one of those ones, and you just forget this is not a fast twitch fibre race.
You take your time.
Relax yourself, and I'm off. Bang! I'm going off. I'm like, this pace is all right. I'm doing all right. These lot, I'm gonna be just fine. And then I started realizing as we went down like the first curve, they started picking up, but they were still like in jog mode.
Yeah.
So I felt a bit disrespected. You know, it was humbling. They was like still in jog mode, and but they was like catching me, and I was just kind of like. Wait,
and then you think you have to speed up.
I was like, no. Just ego, all ego.
Yeah.
And then I think I got to like the others, got past the finish line, if you would, and because it starts on the 3/4 run.
Yeah.
So you do 300, then go.
Then you get.
And I think after like we finished the 300, as we were coming around like 50 meters on the bend, then man just started. And I was just like, oh.
You started running babackwards.
I was like, oh dear. And like body's not giving anymore.
Yeah, literally.
You know what I mean?
But that's the thing. Like there was this guy. He's a sprinter, and he tried the 4, and he was like he did like the first 300 in like 33 seconds, and then the last 100 he was just running back. I said, who told you to go and do that? Like, what logic does that make?
Nah,
because whether you like it or not, he must have done like the last 100 in like a stupid time.
Yeah.
Because I think he finished like 58 seconds.
Oh, wow.
So how can you run the first 300 and
no, that's not.
It was just like it was very humbling for me. So I think but I tried relay hurdles before. It was not my event. Filling in. I stopped in the middle of the race and I just walked off.
Just couldn't do it.
I was like, I'm not going anywhere. Like, I'm running. I know that I'm quick. Jumping, but the hurdle is taking too much time from me. So at one point I just said, I stopped. My coach was like, go back and finish the race, Rachel. I was like, so I went back. I'd already been disqualified. Went back and I was just like,
the lane, innit?
And I literally just, they're like, well done. I was just like, ugh.
Vex.
Literally. Ever since then, did I touch hurdles again? No. Would I do so? No.
Fair play. So you just stepped to sprint. So did you do 100, 200 predominantly?
I did 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
And when it was time to jump up to 4, I did 4
Nice.
2s and 4s. So,
Nice. So
yeah.
you got a good range of like what it was
Yeah.
like to see all of it.
Yeah.
That's wicked. So like when you got to 18 and it come like transition, what was the changing motivation factor? Was it kind of like you just kind of didn't want to do it anymore? Was there something else that kind of pulled you in?
I think it's like a mixture of 2 things. Like I got a bit injured.
Okay.
Had like
injuries are horrible.
Yeah, had a lot of hamstring issues.
Yep. Sprinters issues.
Yeah. So like whenever, like running, even till now, like running is not with ease. Like I always feel some sort of pain, like running.
Yeah.
But I've just become really used to the pain that I feel.
Yeah.
So I think that was just like, what's the point if I can't perform at the same level? Because obviously like when I was 17 was like top 10, came 3rd English schools, so like that's that expectation of you. So for me to drop down because of an injury, or because, and I also 400s is, I'd say it's mentally tasking. So it was like I didn't have the mental capacity for a 400. It was like a 300 is like, okay, got out before the lactic kicked in. But a 400 is like that last 100
it's painful,
can make or break your race,
literally.
So it was just really like I didn't have the capacity mentally for it. And also it was like I was being pulled away with, like, obviously I had a boyfriend at the time and stuff like that, so it's just like, ugh, I don't need to do this right now. Like I this is no longer a priority in that sense. Like I definitely do regret it because it was something that I enjoyed, and there was a lot of my identity was kind of tied to it. But at the same time I'm kind of glad that I did break away, because otherwise I wouldn't have done half the stuff that I went to go do.
I hear you. So it's, I kind of I see what you mean when you say that, because it's like it's a little bit same for me with football. It's like when you get opportunities, when you do one thing for a long period of time, especially when you start young, it's like it's quite nice to be able to explore something different. Whether that's injuries opens that door, or if you just something pulls you in differently. Do you know what I mean? So I see what you mean. Like it's nice to get experience trying something new. So like, what was the next steps then after you realised that alright, cool, athletics is something different? Like you said, you had a boyfriend at the time, other little things in life. What pulled you towards wanting to get into like fashion and modelling and that sort of thing?
The funny thing was in school, I used to bunk school.
Oh Lord, good Lord, truancy.
I was bunking school because I wanted money.
Okay.
I wanted money
for the bag, yeah.
And literally, I just wanted money, so I got myself a job.
Okay.
I was supposed to be in school, but I was missing school.
Okay.
Because of this job.
Yeah.
And I remember this woman was like to me, "Oh, you should get into modelling." And I was just like, back then I had this, I don't know, like I had this thing where I was like, oh, I don't want to be a model, because that means I'll just be a look. I won't be someone that people take seriously, like I'm more than the way I look, like I've got a brain, So it was kind of, I had those thoughts about modelling, but like looking back, maybe it was like insecurities and stuff like that, like not feeling good enough and all that stuff. But I was just pretty much like, not
feeling it.
And then I like did Miss Ghana, or like I did Miss Ghana.
Did that just like pop up, like, or was it like you doing shoots and then you kind of got connected with people?
The funny thing is with Ghana, I wanted to, so I was trying to start an organisation to do with men and women who have been through sexual abuse, but I was tailoring it to Ghana. So I was having a conversation with my cousin, and we were talking about it. I was like, I really want to do this. We were having just conversation about sexual abuse and stuff like that. And then I was just like, it's crazy, because there's no one, like no woman has gone through a thing where they've not experienced something that's inappropriate, something that's not okay. So I was just like, okay, cool. And I was talking to this girl I was friends with at the time. She's like, why don't you do Miss Ghana UK? And I was like, okay, because I don't know, like I always wanted to try different, like my thing every year is to try something that I wouldn't normally do, and that was definitely something I would never do. So I was like, okay, fine. So I just applied online. We had auditions, and I just
like
started the process. And I think it was like during that this photographer Anthony reached out to me, and he was like, basically would like to do a shoot with you. And I was like, okay, cool. And then since then,
just kind of like that got you into like doing shoots,
and
opened
like
up
different
doors.
things. I guess it made me feel like, oh yeah, you can do it, so just try it. And then I was like more open to like,
so you just took a leap of faith.
Yeah, like, I mean, what could go wrong? Someone tells me I'm fat and just
well, no, I mean, it's a real thing though. It's a real fear for a lot of females.
No, it definitely is, and it stops me because my thing, so I never applied for agencies because I had my thing, like I had problems with my skin, and I felt like I wasn't I didn't have the average look. Okay. Like what they're supposed to look. What the beauty standard. Exactly.
Standard is.
So it was just like I was always very hesitant when it came to it, because I didn't feel like, I don't know, like when it comes to applying for agencies, for me it was just like loads of different thoughts were running through my head. It's like, what if you're not the standard of beauty? What if like you're not the size that they want you to be? What if they want you to lose weight? What if like all these little things? What if like your skin's not perfect? So it's just like, what if? So I was just like, maybe it's not for me, so just leave it at that. But then people would always like DM me asking to do like little shoots and stuff like that, and I was like, okay, fine. So that made me feel like, okay, there's nothing wrong with me. Like, 100%. And especially like Anthony, who he was working for an agency, and he was just like, oh yeah, like why don't you apply for agencies? And I was a bit like, I mean, my skin. He's like, so, and I was like, yeah, but he's like, so just do it and see what happens.
Facts, just do it.
And then I was like, oh yeah, I'll do it, maybe. Never did. Never did. Might do it this year, but so.
I hear you. Yeah, it's one of those, as I said, you took the leap of faith, I think, in terms of like wanting to try something new. You know what I mean? And discover, you know, what you can do or what you might enjoy doing in a different field. So like, but yeah, touching on you know, the initial fears, I mean, I can imagine for, I mean, obviously not being a female, but I see in a lot of things online when women talk about, you know, I looked too overweight, or you know, they didn't want me because of this and because of that. So like, I can imagine that it must be, you know, a frustrating thing, because it's very personal. We were speaking about this before we jumped on here. Like, it's different. Like when I played football, and I'm sure you know your bros play football as well. Like when you get judged on playing football, it's like, you're just not good enough there. You need to get better. You're not strong enough. You need to get stronger. Like you need to get quicker there.
But these are things that you can fix.
Precisely. Like when somebody's just like, I just don't like your face. Like,
what you want me to do? Take it off?
Like, Lord, this is the mask.
Literally.
I'm supposed to just pull it off. And, so I can imagine it's a big fear for a lot of females, but I think they're starting to break down that a little bit more now. I think social media's helped a bit, because
it has.
You've got the freelance photographers in the world like that. But what's your experience on it?
I think it's like, I mean, first of all, the initial thoughts out on my days, I did have a lot of issues with, in terms of like how dark I was. I was like, I'm not as dark as like, you know, the supermodels. I'm not as dark as them, and I'm not exactly light skinned. So where do I stand? I've got bad skin. Like these people have glossy skin. I don't have that. So where do I go from here? So it was just like, and it was obviously, I have African features. I'm African. So it's just like, I have a big nose. So it's just like, you just start and thin lips. Exactly, and, like, you just start picking at yourself. So I think it just got to a point where she's like, I'm not going to do this anymore. And like sometimes people are like, oh, you're like, people deem me as tall, but then to them, to like, I'm not tall enough. So it's just like, where do I actually fit in? Because this set of people are telling me this, these set of people are telling me that. So I think it was just very much, do you know what, I'm not even going to put myself in that position for me to feel some type of way about the way I look and just have self-esteem issues because of this. So I think with social media it has helped, but even then I feel like even now there's a certain way that you need to look
that's still online. So it's like, it's opened it up more, but it's just like,
there's still a certain type of look that you need to have. I feel like before it's like you need to be one of these now it's like you need to be these Insta bad bees, need to be thick. Your body needs to be. Throw in a BBL if you can. Throw in a BBL if you can. Like your wig has to be on point. Or you have to have glorious natural hair. There's no in between. Like you either have to be like a perfect Barbie doll, or you have to be the perfect naturalista. So it's like you can't win. It has helped in the sense of opening things up, but it's still like a certain look that you need to have.
It's still an issue that overall that they're trying to confine it to like this like marketable area. Basically it's kind of like we can't just let everyone in.
Exactly.
It's like suddenly like,
but we'll let your kind in. It has to be this kind.
It's like, it's just like, now they're trying to nitpick. I get. I see what you're saying. So like, let's go back a little bit. Let's walk me through the process of like the beauty pageant itself, because you see them on TV, you see them everything like online, and you're like, no, it looks like a great event. Exposure, getting to meet people, put on stage, but it doesn't take a smart person to realise that there's obviously other things going on too. So like, talk me through the process of like how you got, what it was like, should I say, in that environment. And
do you know what's funny? I think I got really lucky with the year that I actually ran, because no one was catty or anything like that.
Okay, cool.
I think people held themselves. People knew that there are certain people that knew that they were going to win, or had the inkling, or thought they had what it took to win.
Okay, cool.
So those people, although they'll be like, they still knew, like they were like, oh, I've got this in the bag. Like
cool.
They had
so they're
those
being coy and being nice, kind of know.
So I think like people still had an idea. So like and I think everyone had already made their predictions as to how, like, who's going to win, who's going to come top 3 and stuff like that. So it was like auditions. Like I said, there was my friend Karen. As soon as I saw her, me and Leanne, we were like, we called her 5 bundles. We were like, she's gonna win, because Karen was just so beautiful. Looked like a Barbie doll, what you would deem as like the perfect aesthetic for.
I feel you.
And like, we just thought, oh my day, she's gonna have an attitude, like, and then she's like so nice, and then it was just like, okay, so this is not like your stereotypical,
the look didn't match the stereotype, if you will.
So it's like, okay, cool. So then we became close, and like met another girl, Savetta. So it was just us 3. Like everyone had their cliques within the thing.
Cool.
So it was just us 3. Like after every rehearsal, we'll just sit in the car and just bitch about the whole thing, because to us it just didn't make sense. Like how much we were being put through, like rehearsals. Like there was a comment that was made one time. We went to a restaurant, and I think we were supposed to serve or something. We were supposed to be like recruiting people in a sense, and I remember some people just came with no makeup, and then one of the aunties went crazy. She's like, you guys have come here with your dry faces, and I was just like, that's so mad, because I'm not someone that feels like they need to go out with makeup all the time. But imagine if you were, and like you'd finally mastered the courage to actually go out without any makeup, and then you've just been told that your face was dry.
Stress.
You didn't make any effort. But what if this is me making an effort? So in that sense, like there was a lot of issues with management, I would say.
Is it more judgmental rather than leadership based?
In a sense. It's not even that. They just carried that. They weren't trying to be like mentors. It was more like dealing with your parents. It was kind of like that.
I did a little research before. I jumped on you, and I looked on the website and like see what they was talking about, and they did talk about like one of the most important parts being the mentoring and the life skills part. And if anyone doesn't know, like I'm working with Casual Ballers at the moment, and it's working with a bunch of young footballers, predominantly young boys that are from the inner city London area and around. And like life skills is one of the most important things that we preach. And it's because they come from certain environments where they're probably not going to get this information. They're not going to hear these bits of advice, these nuggets of things that they can take away and actually take into their real life to improve. So we really put an emphasis on after sessions, in between sessions, even sometimes before, you know, giving them bits of advice, and they'll sometimes come up and be like, oh, you know, coach, like, I really want to improve this, I want to get better than that. So I take it very personally, like when people say that they're gonna give you transferable skills, life skills, something you can take into the real world. So like, would you say that they kind of upheld their part of the bargain?
No. Okay. Yeah, literally just no, because I feel like for example, my mentor, like I was telling you earlier, like there was actually before that we had an issue. Like we went to this apartment thing and we were all there, and something happened, I don't quite remember, but we all ended up in a room and we were all talking like mentors. They were like, do you guys want to do this, yes or no, da, 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 da. And then they were going off on us, and I was just like, do you know what, like it was like the first time I'd actually like spoken up for myself. And I was like, I can't lie, like you guys are talking, if there's an issue we should come talk to you guys, but you're not approachable. So how are you not approachable? Have you even tried? Well, if this is the response that you're giving me, why would I now come and approach you and tell you that, okay, I'm dealing with this? Because you could be dealing with a lot. Like during that competition, I'd quit my job. Like I was just going through a lot of, like, I'd say a lot of change. So it was just like, people are dealing with stuff, but you've not given them the environment to want to even talk to you in that sense. So why would I now come and waste my time and energy trying to get you to understand when you're obviously not trying to listen? So I was just like, okay, cool. So since then I was just like, whatever. And then like the same mentor told me, like, I didn't even think you come top 10, let alone top 3. Like, jokingly or not, like, you don't say that. So I wouldn't say that's they cool. I wouldn't say they were trying to, like, they had the hearts were in the right places, but I just don't think they were cut out for what they set out to do.
Well, I've always looked at those things and I thought it was a little strange to compete in beauty standards because it is so subjective to the human eye. Like, each person has like a certain trait or thing or shade or whatever that they enjoy the most, and to try and bundle that all into one group and say like this, and obviously I know this is Miss Ghana, so of course we're going to be talking about a specific group of people, but I mean in the general terms, like all Ghanaian women don't look the same, or one group of any women don't look the same. So I think it's harsh to try to, like, I wouldn't say police it, but try to, like, it sounds like more like pep rally type stuff, like, let's get them going, like, this isn't Wall Street, do you know what I mean? Like,
I get what you mean, but in this instance, like, with me, like, during the whole pageant, it got to a point where I was just like, I don't care. I don't care about this thing. Like, I'm here because I've wasted money, so I'm gonna see this thing through. But during, like, competition day, I wouldn't say I looked the prettiest, but what scored me the most points was my speech. So it's just like, I don't think it's purely based on the way that you look, but it's like different attributes that you have. It's like, to be fair, you're being judged by judges. So if you can make them feel something, then you're good. Because I remember, like, when it got to the final stages of the competition, like on the competition day, I was like, they asked me a question about why I want to be Miss Ghana, like what makes me so passionate about Ghana. I started stuttering, so I was like, and I just had to, like, flip it around and turn it into a joke just to buy myself some time to come up with something to say. So, like, it's like the ability to kind of, like, think on your feet and, like, be able to be personable and all these
relatable
things. So I think all of that plays a part in it, more than just the way that you look. But, like, even in Ghana, like, they normally tend to say that our girls are the prettiest girls, so they already have their standards within that this society. So
it's like bringing it here is like, it's more of a, like, a bridge between Ghana and here, like, maybe some of the changes of what they'd be willing to have, because if it's really kind of set one way, I mean, it's the same like in most people's culture, I can imagine. It's like you go to where they're from, there's a certain way of look of the people, the way that they come across that is considered attractive. So that, like UK, I think it's different. I think it does this a lot with multiple cultures as well. Like you look at an African culture, you look in Caribbean culture, most minority cultures, there's a slight shift of like the standard of what they want the women particularly to look like. I've realised that,
especially now.
And it goes back to what you said as well, talking about, you know, the overall package not just being like this quote unquote beautiful thing that we look at, as opposed to more somebody that has a purpose and a drive and goals, which is something that I know that you're very passionate about too. So was it at least good in terms of like the exposure to different types of people, networking, maybe meeting and greeting?
I can't lie, I don't think I actually gained that much from it. Like there are people that would recognize me from it, but you have to have been a part of the competition, or you have to have been really into it in order for you to recognize in that sense. But I wouldn't say it brought me anything. Maybe it's because I didn't go to most of the events, because I live in Beaconsfield. I was not traveling to London all the time.
But you didn't have to go to like all of the
you had to go, but I just wasn't going. I just wasn't going because it was far. It's not like my expenses were being paid. It was just coming out of my pocket.
Okay.
So it was just like, I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna waste. Like I said, I'd quit my job. I wasn't gonna waste whatever I had left. On like unnecessary travels.
Does that make sense?
So it just didn't make sense to me. And like, and I think my issue as well at that time was that I didn't know how to put on makeup. Like,
well, they didn't have like hair and makeup and stuff there. Oh Lord.
No, they did not.
Goodness.
Like there was, I mean, the founder.
All the hair and makeup girls right now are just like.
How dare they? No, like the founder, like her daughter was did makeup. Like she could do makeup, and I guess like if you'd organize things with her, then she'd be willing to do it for you. And like she did it for me in an instance. But other than that, I didn't have time to now drive from Beaconsfield to where they live to get, and then, do you know what I mean? So it's just like, I would rather just sit my behind at home, because for me, in order, like, I would rather go with my bare face than go with busted makeup. So it was just like, and obviously no one's dry bare faces at these events, because they're somewhat elaborate events. So I just didn't bother going. I'd make an appearance every now and then, but it just wasn't a priority for me.
Fair enough. But I mean, it kind of happens sometimes, doesn't it? Like, you get invited to certain things that like you think are going to be different to what you perceive them to be, and then you're like, oh, okay, this isn't exactly what I initially thought.
What I signed up for.
But just take what you can from it, I guess, and just move on. But I mean, I guess it would have at least given you connections into willing to be, well, definitely confidence on stage. That must have been something.
Do you know what's funny? Like during rehearsals, I couldn't get through my speech. Like I was just like, I was stuttering. I was literally forgetting. Like I didn't think of myself as someone that could, you know, speak on stage. But I think that night I was literally like, do you know what? I've dragged everyone out here. Might as well. And I just did it, and it went well.
Good.
And I was just like, okay, cool. So then I was like, okay, like before I was just thinking, oh, I'm just here, I'm just doing my time. And then after the speech I was like, yeah, I've got this, it's fine. And then as we kind of progressed through the thing, I just got more confident, and then just
confidence is everything. I think I noticed that I speak with, obviously, you know, I've done loads of different types of shoots with different types of people, but when I work with particularly girls in fashion, it's always an issue of confidence. Of like, oh, let me see that picture. Can I see? And it's I notice it, and because it's an initial fear of not wanting to look embarrassed. You don't want people to post things of you that don't look the way you want them to. But I do think that is a bit of an ongoing thing. And you know what I think as well? I think it's the fault of the industry, because once we introduce things like airbrushing, we introduced radically changing a face. I mean, I can sit on Photoshop right now and just, you know, edit a photograph and make it like a cartoon almost. And it's just like, it's not realistic, and then what happens is in real life you're trying to live up to that cartoon.
And do you know what? It's
image.
like these filters as well.
Yeah, filters
like,
can help people. Yeah,
I just think in the world, do you know what? It's social media plays a big part, but the magazines were already doing it before.
Exactly.
So
this is digital now.
Exactly. Now it's a lot worse.
Yeah.
And like you think you have to look this way, and I think certain people, like. I hate it when people say that it's all about male attention, because it's not. Sometimes you just want to look good for yourself, but male attention doesn't help as well. Like, men expect you to look a certain way and like dress a certain way and have a certain type of body, and I think that becomes the standard. Whenever it changes, that becomes the new standard. Like, remember, like back in the day, it was like, oh, you have to have really big boobs.
Yeah.
But now it's switched to a big bum. Literally, now it's a big bum. And next thing you know, it'll be like big hips, and like people going on to go get BBLs because, and it's just a lot.
Yeah.
So I think people chase these unrealistic standards because of men. So men are the problem.
Yeah, you just stuck that one
Literally.
in there. I mean, like, I can't even defend all men. I'm not even going to try to. That's a matter.
But I think it's also the camera as well. Like, sometimes it can make you look fatter than you really are.
Yeah.
Like, that's the truth of the matter.
Well,
and I think...
It's like anything that is a representation of reality is never going to be the reality.
Because I won't lie, there's been times where I've been like, hold on, I don't look like I don't look like that. Like, you know, when someone takes a picture of you and it's different from the one, you're like, yeah, I don't look like that. You're embarrassing me. But really, that's just you at another angle. So it's just
don't take
the
that
harsh
angle off enough.
reality.
You're just like,
Exactly.
hold on, wait.
That's not me. So I think it's just the harsh reality of you know, different angles come with different
different problems.
Exactly.
Yeah, now you make a great point though about like the socials and that, and you know, this for me, I look at it like trying to give as much confidence to the people, because I've developed this through practice. You know, I've had to, you know, you start off, you get thrown in a deep end at a young age. You know, you take the criticisms on board, and then I think at some point you just learn to realize that it's kind of down to you to kind of to dictate the kind of message you want people to receive about you. You know? So like, yes, people are going to have a perception when they see you, but I think a lot of people just naturally feed into, like, for the sake of it, just crap. Just they feed into rubbish. They feed into stuff that isn't actually them, and then, you know, they get judged and put over here. Whereas you got, I think some people are quite comfortable because they're like, look, I know who I am. I know people in my circle. They know me. And I think it comes down to being congruent. You know, I said this the other day on my Insta story. I was like, you know, you got to be congruent to the person that you are online, or the messages you put out online. You know what I mean? So like, when you say something, it's kind of like, don't let that be different.
I get what you mean. But people like to think that their social media and them as a person, two completely different people. So I think that's why they think people can just post stuff and just be like, oh yeah, I was just posting it for the sake of posting it.
So you say it's like a separation. It's just like,
even though like
plausible deniability.
Exactly. So like, you know, even people stunting on social media, but really and truly, when you look at your life, that's not how it is.
Facts.
I think it's just like, social media allows people to be this whole different person. Most of the time people are running from who they really are on social media.
That's true.
So I think it's like, not as much as some people like to play into the fact that they know who they are and all these, most of the time people don't.
Yeah, it's true.
It's really just like, they go on social media, they collect all these ideas, and I've seen it happen to me before. Like I've felt it as well, where it's just like, I'd see a quote and I'd be like, that is so true, and I'd see another one, I'm like, wait, was the other one true? Like, is this actually what I think? Or so I think it's just like, sometimes social media is like information overload. Yeah, true. And you have to gotta know what to like, you have to be really rooted in yourself in order to be like, okay, that does not align with what I think or whatever, because otherwise you'll just be in the wind. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, and that's kind of why I emphasize it even more, because it's like, I think of it as,
there aren't very many people that actually are who they are when you meet them. And one thing that I love about this podcast and meeting and sitting with people is that, you know, one thing is that people say it's refreshing, because it's like they get to come on and get to talk about themselves. They don't feel like you're, you know, we're talking about trends or we're talking about nonsense. We're talking about just like who you are as an individual. But more importantly, they also are pleasantly surprised when they meet me that it's a similar version. You're never going to be exactly who you are online, because I don't think that you can actually do that. But I think if you can be as close to what messages you send online as opposed to resharing, reposting, like that, I think that's a closer way to do it, or at least a better way, in my opinion. You know, how you can kind of put your message out and then people meet you and they're like, oh, okay, cool, like, yeah, he says this online, and even if it's slightly negative, because some people can do that, and it like a bit more controversial online, and you're like, oh, why is he saying all these controversial things? But if you actually meet those people in person,
and they say, but that's the thing, like these days you just never know.
Exactly, you don't know, so you meet people. And see, this is the issue. I think less people are wanting to meet up in person now because they feel like they've made up who they are, and like, do you know what I mean? Like, for example, if I saw you online and you came across as like bougie, you got a negative attitude, I probably wouldn't be like, I don't know if I want to bring her on the pod, because is she gonna enjoy it, one, and then is she even gonna give anything to the camera, or is she just gonna sit and look for attention? Because I'm supposed to be doing that. Listen, I'll cut it right now. But I think that's the problem. It's a case of not enough people are willing to have those conversations in person with each other. I think it ends up being this digital chat and quickly becomes an argument.
But do you know what? I also think that it could just be a thing where people have just become so accustomed to being more themselves digitally than sitting down and having a face-to-face conversation with someone and being able to express yourself
it's true properly. I think it's hard to go backwards. I mean, we're kind of going on a little bit of a tangent, but like I think it's hard to go backwards once you've kind of dabbled in that online digital presence. It's like you're adding things to your character that aren't necessarily there. You know what I mean? It's like, let me add this little piece in there because, you know, it's going to make me look good and maybe get me some more views online. But like you said, when you meet him in person, it's not quite adding up. And, you know, then you have to think about what the person's actually dealing with inside. Like, are they actually going home feeling comfortable, happy when they go to sleep at night, wake up inspired, motivated? You know, if not, then I think it's just a case of, you know, you probably need to step a little bit away from socials and like posting online, and find out who you are as an individual first before you start putting an image out. You know?
I get that, but like people used to say that social media, like you would take a break from social media. No, you'd take a break from life with social media, but now it's the opposite way around. Like you have to take a break from social media to kind of balance yourself. So it's just like, I think times have just changed, and people are struggling to keep up in an authentic way. So
and mental health is a serious thing as well.
Definitely,
it's a very serious thing that is becoming, when I say serious, I mean in the sense of we should never discredit when people say that they're going through things, and I think we have this terrible habit online now of
to be like
discrediting things. Attention seeking. Everything's attention seeking.
Why are you crying online?
But it's the same way if you said to somebody like, why are you posting your business online? Why are you sharing your stuff? Like, because I want to make money.
It's my profile. If that's what I want to do,
and everyone else is doing it to the point where if you're not the person doing it, you're going to miss out. Let's be honest. Who doesn't have an email?
Old people.
Oh, you're not online. Like, even no, true. But like, even our parents now. Like, you know, I see like my parents and stuff. They're quite savvy on socials now, and you really just can't afford to be in today's society. You ain't got to have an email. You ain't got some form of activity online, whether it's a little Facebook account or something. It's like, it's easy to say, what are you doing on here? Get off. And you're like, all right, cool. Like, where am I making this money from? Like, where am I marketing myself? So, you make a great point about, like, I think socials has kind of changed the dynamic of how we interact with each other.
Yeah.
But I don't think it should ever replace like what we're doing now, to sit down,
definitely
share spaces, and you know, get to know a little bit more behind the scenes, so we're not just judging everyone just like, oh yeah, I see you on
face
socials.
value.
Yeah, I see you on socials. It's like it gets a bit boring. It gets a little bit meaningless. So I was going to ask as well, going back a little bit more to the beauty pageant, because it seems as if like it wasn't the greatest overall experience, but like what would I say, what would you say, sorry, is one key thing that you felt like was a highlight to take away? Because it can be something that you learn
as in a good thing.
Yeah.
I'd say I learned that I'm actually a lot more confident than I give myself credit for. I wouldn't say like that experience, I can't lie, like that experience, I wouldn't say like
you took away a lot.
I wouldn't say that. I'd say like it made me realize that I had certain skills that I didn't know that I had.
Well, it sounds as if like the confidence, like you just mentioned, makes a lot of sense, because it's like you had the confidence to kind of get up on stage, and like even though you didn't want to go some days and maybe not travel, you know, just finding the confidence as well to go up and put yourself out there. Yeah, because sometimes that in itself can be like a strength.
Yeah, I mean, I think my thing is I don't have an issue jumping into things and be like, oh, do you know what, I'm just gonna do it. I don't have an issue with that. I think it's more maybe like a consistency thing.
Okay, yeah.
Like, and I'm someone that operates a lot on my mood.
Okay, well, yeah.
Like if I'm not up for it, I'm not up for it. Like, and if you make me, I will do it, and you will know that I'm not up for it, and it'll be a horrible experience for everyone.
Trust me, I see it at the gym. I see it at the gym. Trust
that
me.
Doesn't count. Cut the cameras.
But you say that, but I know at the same token though, like getting into athletics and doing that as a serious level, that's not no joke. Like you don't just show up to the track and think you're just going to run around. Like, it don't work like that. So like I do know that you would have had to have instilled a good amount of discipline. But
you know, it's funny, like if my parents were to be here and just be talking the most, they'd be like, oh, she was so lazy. Of course. I've never met anybody so lazy like this before. But to be honest, it was just like, to be fair, it's like you make friends. Exactly. But like you make friends there, and then it's no longer, oh, I'm just going for the sake of just because I really want to be a great athlete. No. Some days it's just that I'm going to see my friends. Okay. So it was also social as well as like improvement. Yeah, and like the thing is, my coach was always like, you could tell when you're not happy because you would train really well. You would just be really quiet, put your head down, and just train. But when I was like in a good mood, I'd be laughing with everyone, distracting everyone, and stuff like that. But when I was just not in the mood, I'd get on with it. Yeah. So I would show up, and it might not look the way that everyone would want it to look, like, you know, all serious and like, you know. But I'd show up and get things done. Like, I wasn't one of those people that training, I'd be like, you know, those people that race off like every single run, they have to be in front. I was never one of those people. I always used to save my energy for like the last couple of runs. And I didn't really enjoy the actual work of training. I always preferred competition to training. Because it's just like, that's the fun part. So
especially in athletics, I get it. It's kind of like it's very unforgiving, just like athletics training, as we talked about before. It's like there's no cheering section. There's no one kind of geeing you on. It's just kind of like, oh, get it done. Oh, you done those 4 runs? Okay, well, you got another 8.
Exactly. Oh my god.
And we're gonna do these at 50. These ones gonna be at 75%. Okay,
exactly.
Like, we want to pick up the pace a little bit.
You want an 85 this one, but you get a long break. How long's the break? 5 minutes.
I know. There's time. Like, end of sessions, man. Yeah. Like, yeah, it's character building. It is character building, and like maybe if you don't notice it as much, I'm sure a lot of those things were being instilled without you kind of picking it up. But like, so you brought up something really key there. You talked about that consistency, which I think is huge. It's another thing that I try to have as the center of my universe. Because I know from there so many positive things come from that. You know, it's not always, as we know, but let's be honest, if you don't show up and then put the effort in, the likelihood is you're not going to you're not going to get much results anyway. So that's the kind of the common denominator. And I realized, like, in football and then transitioning into photography and content creation, consistency is so key, even with like the likes of this pod. Like, when I communicate with people, the fact that they speak to me, and then within a short period of time we've got together, we've filmed something, and then I try to get that out as soon as possible, because it showcases your value, and it also showcases like your seriousness and intent. So I always try to focus on that consistency. So, like, speak a little bit more on the consistency, like from the terms of like getting into the modeling side of things and fashion. Have you noticed that it has been a positive or a negative?
I mean, if you're consistently saying yes to people, like collaborating, like, you know, not getting paid for it and stuff like that, then you'll always be stuck in that bracket where it's just like, she's your go-to girl. Like, she'll say because she wants to, like a yes person. So I guess sometimes it could be bad, and like sometimes, like, there are certain shoots that you may not feel comfortable doing. And like,
true.
You're saying yes to everything, but I think it's also like a values thing as well.
Not all exposure is good exposure.
Exactly. So it's just like, consistency is good, but I think you also need to be consistently setting your boundaries and like kind of sticking to your ethics as well. So I think that's, I mean, the ethics thing was not anything that I struggled with. But even like, for example, I'm supposed to be doing a shoot on the 1st of May, and she wanted me to come and do a fitting and things like that. But for me, I'm not going to travel all the way into London just for that 15 to 10 minute that you're trying on my clothes. I'm trying on your clothes, and, you know, you're adjusting it and stuff like that, because to me that's a waste of my time and resources, especially as a collab thing. So it's not like some paid shoot where they're like giving you X amount to come here and do all that. Exactly. Like, I'm more than happy to do it, but at the same time I need to consider myself in these things.
You need to be getting something out of it too.
Exactly. So I think it's like, you have to be consistently putting yourself first. Like, it might not look the way that you want it to look, but I think it's something that you have to actively do. Like, just keep putting yourself first in that sense as well.
Like the boundaries, that's a key one. It's kind of like you can be consistent in producing something of quality, but also be consistent in, you know, not allowing yourself to become vulnerable to manipulative people. Because I've realized that as well, because when you create, and all creators out there watching will know this, is you quickly become a resource for other people's businesses and their brand. And you'll be slightly different because you're like the face, you're what they want to sell. With me, it's more they want to utilize the skill set, and then they want to cleverly act like they kind of don't need it, but they kind of do. And it's kind of like, without the creation, there's nothing to show. There's nothing to show, but they have to find a unique way of making whatever they're doing feel as important. So if they have an idea, they'll want to weigh that idea as important as you showing up, editing it, filming it, paying
your time,
all of your money and time to go and set it up, and they're just kind of sitting there with this cool idea that may or may not get off the ground. And that's what I see where you're coming from. Like, you probably have a lot of shouts on people that are saying to you, come do this shoot, come do that shoot.
There was one time that I was just like, this lady mocked my life. Like, she wanted us to do a little runway thing. After all that, she gave us £20. £20. I said, it's okay. I think it's from then I was just like, you know what, I don't even know if this.
There is no like minimum wage in the artistic creative world. It's like the minimum wage exists if you have like a trade position job where you work at a company or something, but like if you're doing creative work with like, I don't know, freelancers, self-employed businesses, it's kind of like more about who you know if you want to get paid. Like, otherwise it's experience, it's credit.
It's like
you're gonna you know what I mean, you're gonna get views.
It was so crazy.
And they're like, listen, your views ain't putting in food.
Literally, I was so mad. Because it was.
Well, they can in some cases. I won't say that. Let me not say that. Some views can. You can get in those views.
Of course.
but you know what I mean.
No, that we were literally just there. Like, we wasted our whole day there only to get £20.
Yeah, it's painful.
And it was just like, yeah, no. I think that's when I was just like, yeah, I don't know about this, because this does not make sense to me.
I understand.
Like, and it's not even like I'm 15 and £20 could do anything.
Yeah, you're grown.
Can
you're
barely
grown.
give me petrol, and I was just like, yeah, no.
Yeah.
It's like like before COVID.
Okay.
So like from then I was just like, yeah, I'm not doing any of that anymore. So yeah, it's been a journey, I guess. Yeah, that's all I can really say.
Well, the thing is, I mean, it sounds like it's like you said, it was an enjoyment thing. It's also social. It kind of ticks a few boxes, which sometimes is healthy. Whenever you're getting involved in different projects, sometimes it's not necessarily always good to just look at the finances, the revenue you're going to gain from it, because
definitely
you do need to gain, like, not everything you do you're going to love it, but there does need to be some element of some enjoyment, some fun in there, or even if you find that in another place, to just kind of supplement your workflow, because if you're just kind of going at it, and then like you don't have no relief, or you don't go out and talk with people, I think you kind of get lost.
Definitely, but I think there comes a time in life where you just have to be about your bag.
True.
I think like it's great. Yeah, like it's great to like have all these things, but relief could be done in the gym.
That's what I was talking about. Basically, like, I didn't mean like, I meant like whatever your fun may be could be linked to what you're actually doing. So like you could be working out, staying fit. It could be for you. It might be you enjoy cooking. You enjoy.
No, I do not.
Goodness me.
I'm exposing my self.
Listen, you're throwing me off here. Like, I'm trying to big you up out here. Look, what you doing to me? What you doing to me?
It's better to be honest, isn't it?
It's true. Oh Lord.
I still want to say.
Well, if you don't like cooking, well, it could be running, anything. Like, you don't even like running either. Like,
I do. I still run. Like, I'm still, joking. Go to the track.
But nah, like, yeah, I think it kind of comes down to the essence of whatever you do, there needs to be something to supplement.
Yeah.
I don't think that you can solely have a focus and not really have any other area that you have to kind of explore.
Yeah.
Whether if you're in finance, for example, maybe it'd be good to like work out, maybe do something artistic, or if you're always doing art, maybe you have
just something
that's different. You know what I mean?
Kind of ground you. Yeah. And I think that's the thing. Like, I think it's hard to have a balance in general, especially in this day and age, because everything is revolved around money. Like, whether you like it or not, as soon as you leave the house, you're spending £100. Like,
it's money.
It's money.
Yeah.
So I think you just have to try and find pleasure in like the small things, just so that you can continue to function. So
that's true.
I think it's just actively trying to be grateful, actively trying to like take times out, like if you need to journal, if you need therapy, all that good stuff. Like, I just feel like you have to, if you're going to spend money, like for me, I'd rather spend money on things that will make me a better person. So of course. Like therapy, I wouldn't mind spending money on that. I wouldn't mind spending money on the gym. I wouldn't mind spending money.
I'm glad you brought that up as well, though. Like, even said that you were happy to spend, because I mean, let's be honest, in our community, it's a bit of it's a tough one to get people to feel comfortable. Going to therapy, and actually, because a lot of us, it's either not discussed or they feel weak talking about it, which I think is a very dangerous.
Or they just see it as, why would I go and tell someone my problems? That tends to be the bottom line.
Tends to be quite common, and like especially our community. Right? But it's good that you brought that up, because I think a lot of people can kind of like take solace in the fact that, hey, you're not the only person going through anything. But it's not to be ridiculed, and everyone's struggle is slightly unique or special or unique to them. So the only thing you really can do is going out there and speaking with somebody, whether you do it privately or whatever, but you have to, because I think if you let things fester. I'm such an advocate for therapy,
because especially I feel like lockdown would have brought a lot of things for people. I think people were able to run away from themselves for so long, and then lockdown hit and you're literally stuck in the house with yourself, so you're forced to actually look at yourself, and I think sometimes that can be very overwhelming for people. So
especially the hectic lifestyle ones. Like imagine you go and then boom,
it's like a shock to your system.
It's like whoa.
So it's like I would definitely, having had therapy myself and still am having therapy, like I would it's just nice to have that safe space to talk to someone and not feel like you're going to be judged or anything like that. You can literally just say it without, like, I remember when I first brought the idea up to my mum, she's like, oh, but mummy, you don't need therapy, you can talk to mummy about everything. And I was like, what happens when you're the problem? It's like, so what, I'm the problem? It's just like, I'm just asking you, like, am I able to say the things that I want to say about you without you feeling some type of way? No.
I think it's near impossible for humans to separate themselves from things that directly involve them. It's like
so I just think it's just nice to just have that safe space where you can just then cry if you're angry, just
let a lot of the emotions and things you
instead of just bottling.
Where did you get or seek your form of therapy? Was it online?
It was online. It was Black Minds Matter UK.
Cool.
They did like this thing where you can get 12 weeks of free therapy.
Nice.
So I was just like, I mean, if it's free.
Well, listen, therapy ain't cheap. So
exactly.
That's a good way to.
So I was like, I mean, it's a good way to start. And it was like CBT.
Okay, cool.
And integrative, I think. Integrative approach. So it's like they deal with like different types of therapy as well. And I felt like that was literally what I
know exactly what you mean, integrative. They're like, I worked recently last year with a lady, her name's Jahan, actually, she's from Slough, and she's a integrative counsellor, qualified. So like, that's the first time I heard that term, but it's kind of like puts together a different group of different counselling support methods.
So it's just, I found it really helpful, and I would definitely recommend it to everyone, because like sometimes you can't put words to the way that you feel, and sometimes people just, like, the therapist just helps you do so.
That's true.
That's good.
No, that is good. That's always good to, as I said, I like to shout that out, because it is important. Anyone else out there that is listening, but young people, older people, doesn't really matter. I think it's important for us to kind of like voice certain things so that we can move forward and improve, and just even if it's just a venting space, where you can just kind of get certain things off your chest and move forward. That's also healthy as well. So I'm glad you brought that up. But what we'll do is we'll switch gears as before we kind of conclude and start to wrap up the chat. I wanted to kind of get your experience on like transitioning from, obviously, as you said, we taught the whole pageant idea. I guess it wasn't overall the best experience that you would have liked it to be, but in terms of like fashion or modelling or just the fashion world in general, is there a particular area that you enjoy the most and want to go into, or do you kind of just see it as like an overall industry that you're dabbling here or there?
I mean, I've tried, like, I did this show called Undiscovered UK like a couple of years ago, and that's when I actually tried Runway, and I was like, oh, this is really fun, like I like doing this, but I don't think I have a set path in terms of like fashion. I just feel like it's just do stuff. If it feels good, then it feels good. If it doesn't, if it's too much for me, then I don't really want to do that. So I think because I'm quite open to different things and just see where I end up type thing. So I don't.
So you just take it step by step, see what happens. That's the cool thing about fashion. It moves so quick as well.
There's like 1 minute you're in, 1 minute you're in, the next you're out. So you might as well enjoy the ride and just don't be too fussy. I mean, if you know what you want to do, then by all means. But I don't really. I don't know. I just don't like to put expectations on things, because I feel like sometimes you'll miss out on like the little things.
Okay. I see what you're saying.
Just kind of going with it and
going with the flow, and then seeing like essentially like where it'll take you. But no, that's good though. I mean, at least you have a passion in it, and you have like a background as well in terms of sport. Because I think it's really healthy. I think I say this to a lot of young people, to have some form of a sport or activity that you do that supplements or complements whatever you do in the real world. Because we're physical beings first and foremost. Like, we have to walk, move, run, jump. You know, you're not going to get away from that. And I think the less you do those things by design, I think we're missing out on certain releases. Certain positive
just become
releases.
very bogged down.
You get a bit bogged down. You don't even realise sometimes. I mean, like, before I started getting back into the gym, because I was always just on that football fitness, which was just cardio. I was always ready to go. But then kind of got bored of doing that long term, and I realised, all right, cool, let me switch the plan a bit and focus more.
I can't like going to the gym just makes me feel sick. Like,
because you're going with Quadra. my guy KO.
Like, it literally makes me feel sick. Like, obviously I've dabbled.
All work is easy work.
I'm not even gonna touch on that. I'm going to touch on that because I will be seeing him shortly, and I don't want him to torture me.
Nah, listen. I saw him today in the gym.
How did you feel?
Listen, I had to get out of there.
I hope you walked in like this.
Listen, I was having a little chit chat. I was trying to collaborate for the pod. I'm seeing people in there. Hopefully, I saw someone on there who's going to be on the pod very soon. It'll be lit. But having a chit chat, he comes over, me and Jeff, and he's just like, "You not talk about this on the podcast? Get back to work, man." I was just like, alright, bro.
I just need a minute.
I ain't fighting you, bro. I ain't fighting you, innit?
Yeah, I'm fighting. I'll run home afterwards.
That ain't happening. Like, you see the size of it? But nah, it's. I think it's a good environment though. Like, going into the gym, it's whether it's hard or not. I think just being around people that just want to improve. They just want to improve it. Just pull something out of you as well.
And he pulls a lot out of me. Oh my gosh.
Listen.
Like, it's like sometimes when you finish the session, I just sit in the car and I'm just like, why do you keep doing this to yourself? Like, I just have to I have to reevaluate my life, because it's just like it's like you're going there every week.
You're putting yourself
exactly. You have no one to blame because you keep going back. So it's just like, is this something that you want to continue doing? But then I ask myself that every single time after training as well. Is this something that you need to be doing? Like, so. But I guess we're all mad people. We keep going back for more.
That's it. We're just trying to find that next step. And like, wherever it is, you know, I try to always have a positive outlook with the people I'm having. That you have playful banter here and there, and keep it lighthearted. But you know, a lot of people, we have no idea what they're going through at home. So I always like to, you know, err on the side of caution when I talk with people, because a lot of people think everyone's just blessed and everyone's all good because they put that image out. But you always have to be aware that, like, you know, it's not everything that meets the eye. You know, like, sometimes there are some things going on behind the scenes, and that appreciation of that is good. So just uplifting people. As I said, this platform's all about just bringing a large group of people that are all dotted all over the place into one space, and be like, look, like, there are people from where we come from that can be just as successful as anyone out there, if not more. So it's, you know what I mean, and that starts from different areas as well. Like, there is no limitations on where you can begin from.
It's true.
But it's been wicked having you come on, honestly.
Thank you for having me.
Gotta get you come back on there, just light-hearted vibes, getting to talk about your story a little bit. And
story? I don't got a story.
Everybody got a story,
I guess.
Everybody got a story. But no, it's good because I think we just need more open dialogue.
Definitely
more dialogue, more conversations. I don't want to see everything go online. It's nice, don't be wrong, but it's like, damn, part of the reason why I started this was because, you know, having conversations with people that I kind of haven't seen. And it's crazy to think, like, when was the last time I saw, you know, you speak to certain people in your group, like, when's the last person I was like, bro, it was like 3 years ago. And you're just like,
it's like, time flies as well.
That is crazy. So I just kind of created this to, like, reach out to, firstly, people I know and I've grown up with, and just shout them out and then big them up, and then, you know, hopefully just keep in contact a little bit closer rather than just like liking their stuff on Instagram. You know what I mean?
Like and run.
Like and run. Quick reshare. But there's even like I noticed there's a little bit of a fear to even start communication online now.
There is. If it's too long, if I slide into his DM, then will he just forget it. I was like, yeah, it's not that.
I know people be sliding into your DMs.
Oh,
that's
please.
for sure.
And I block them.
Yeah, lies.
I do, honestly.
I'm sure.
I'm just always like block, instant block and delete.
Savage.
I'm not playing these games. It's 2022.
It's a different time out here.
Exactly.
But nah, Rach, it's been good though. Yeah, just get to sit down, highlight certain cool things and about what you're up to, and as I said, like if it just even share some little bit of advice for somebody who's in that field, who young girls or young aspiring people want to get into fashion and beauty, stay away from the beauty pageants.
Not all of them are
not
bad.
all of them are bad.
Because I've made some really good lifelong friends.
But yeah.
But yeah, proceed with caution.
Yeah, exactly. I'd say yeah, exactly. Just proceed with caution. I'm being light-hearted about it, but
so he says. But I would normally like DM someone DM someone to share their experience with you before jumping in.
Or watch this episode. Yeah. You might find out a little bit more than what you need. But but it's good overall. I mean, I see what you're doing online, and you know, quietly kind of making your steps. I see you doing different shoots and little things here or there. So I know you're working on stuff, but. As I said, there'll come that point or that time where you're just like, yeah, okay, cool, this is what I'm doing. Yeah. And you know, sometimes it's nice to be in that exploration phase where you're like, all right, cool, I've got options, I can try different things. Don't tie yourself down too early. You know what I mean? But yeah, anything else you want to drop and leave with the people?
Like what?
Like what you might be up to. Then you have an upcoming. I know you said you got an upcoming shoot on the 1st.
Yeah, I've got a shoot on the 1st.
You're in like collaboration mode.
With still artists. Collaboration, but this will probably be my last one.
Get yourself into an agency.
Yeah,
if you really want to.
I'm going to once I lose a bit of weight.
Because you got a portfolio now. That's a good thing.
Yeah, but content. Do you know what? People don't actually ask for that. So I feel like people don't actually
what do they want to see then?
Just like pictures, like front, side.
Okay. So they're still asking for the front profile.
Yeah,
side profile.
It's like people go through. I feel like people used to scam people with the portfolio. On my days, I've been scammed before. Like back in the day, I think when I was like 16, and I was like, yeah, I want to do it. So I signed up for this agency, and they asked me to pay for like a shoot. And then they
I know what you're talking about.
And I was just like, I don't want to do the shoot anymore. And then they wouldn't send me back. I'm like, didn't you read the contract? From then I was just like, no.
They went on silly with it. Didn't read the fine print.
Literally. And I was just like, never. Like that was like my first and last time. So I think like people normally try to scam people with like portfolio, like, oh, we'll do your portfolio for you, but really you don't need to. Like
portfolio reviews. You mean like, well, they'd like send your portfolio in?
No, like they would do them, like take the pictures for you if you
pay cool. X amount. Pay X amount and then they'll take them.
But really, I feel like in this day and age, as long as you've got an iPhone, like you can apply for agencies. Not even just an iPhone. If you have a camera, then you can apply for it. You don't really need.
It's not like I mean, when I graduated, it was like you had to have like the A3 portfolio.
Oh, really?
Prints. Like from a photographer's perspective.
Okay. I guess
modelers is slightly different.
Yeah.
It was more like they would have some photos or maybe get extra prints on the photographer. Yeah. But you had to have like a portfolio. You had to have it curated and edited to a high level. But I guess it's different. I mean, shout out my old university, Savannah College of Art and Design, the best art university in the world. Okay.
Big up Theo.
just get that in there.
And I just had to just get that throw out my credentials.
Just get that in there. But yeah, it's like you do things, you do it properly. I've always had that. My dad has always told that's always stuck with me. If you're gonna do something, do it properly, or just leave it alone.
Yeah, it's true.
There's nothing wrong with that. But it's been good, brief. Got to highlight some little jokes and little playful side. You made me laugh.
What can I say? I'm hilarious.
But I think this is a good, nice change up of energy because we had different types of people on the pod all the time. Yeah, I like to bring on just different characters, different people.
I was just wonder what it'd be like with Leslie because I think it was quite serious.
She is quite serious.
Yeah,
she's quite
a very serious person.
But you like it, you can watch it. It's on it's episode 25, I believe. But it's a good one. It was good. Or even just chat to her. Yeah. And see what she thought.
That's the thing, I don't really reach out to, but I guess I'm really bad at reaching out to people. No. I'm just like
It's what it is. It's what it is, isn't it? Like you don't have to. That's the thing. You're
Exactly.
just like you're sitting there all just like on.
It's not that deep. I can just go Google and just do what I need to do.
I hear you.
But yeah, no, it's
Now Leslie's just good because he's just got to highlight some of the behind the scenes story like
With her,
most people
that's
haven't
it.
heard, and that's what the thing is. It's crazy to me. It's just like we got these people in Slough. Saying this to you before.
She like
We've got
'cause
crazy talent.
I remember
in Slough,
like
man.
when I was starting out, like my dad was like, oh yeah, Leslie, da da da, and then I was actually like doing my research on her as well. I was like, she won English schools, she did all these things, but I just feel like apparently when she went to America, that's when everything kind of went downhill. So I just feel like maybe she didn't have the support that she needed.
Well, from what she said in the convo, she kind of alluded to the fact of like she had a lot of support, but I think what it was is that she got opened to a few different ideas of things she could do. So she was into like the media correspondence side of things and the broadcasting and that sort of
so
stuff.
that kind of took her attention away from the actual track.
I think
hear
so.
that.
And
But do you know what it is? I don't blame her because I just feel like athletics is just so...
it's difficult.
It's so hard that you always think of an exit plan before you're even in there completely.
Yeah, that's tough.
And I feel like it's also like the pressure of having African parents. It's too, honestly, because I remember like before I'd come home, I'd be like, oh yeah, I got a PB, and I'd be like, okay, but where are you in the world?
Oh Lord.
It's like, can I just not enjoy this little victory that I've got? And I think that's always stuck with me. Like people will be like, oh, you did really well with Miss Ghana, and I'll be like, yeah, but I didn't win. Like all the time we'll be like, yeah, but which is actually is quite crippling because you don't get to enjoy
the moments,
the small wins, because you're just always thinking, but even like with my degree, got a 2-1, like, yeah, but I didn't get a first. So it's just like when do you actually start to enjoy these small things, like the small wins? So it's a lot, especially with a sport like this, where like you can never, it's not like you can never reach the top, but there's always something to attain.
There's always another percent. There's always one little piece of something you can improve.
Exactly. So it's just like you'll never be happy, so you'll always be looking for like your exit. It's like, oh, you need to find sponsors, you need to do this, you need to do that. So it's just like it becomes hard work. It's already hard work, but it becomes harder work. So it's just like, no. So
I hear you. It's kind of like it goes back to that statement I've always heard a few people say. Should I say, the journey is the story.
No, but the story and the journey.
I'm telling you,
it is. But it's like sometimes it's just like.
But it goes back to what you just said though about like the wins. Like how people don't get a chance to enjoy those small wins.
Yeah, so it doesn't feel like a story worth telling, because there aren't any like good parts. It's just consistently a flat line. Exactly. So, you got to give yourself that space, you got to give yourself that time, and even pat yourself on the back once in a while, because the world is very competitive. So it is what it is. Like you have to have good people around you that keep you motivated, and then you got to find that inner discipline as well, so that you can stay consistent and keep focused on your goals. But mostly it's just about people that just want to big you up, man. Like if people love you, they tend to care. It's when people stop talking about you, that's when you got to start worrying. That's the thing, no one talks about me, so I don't need to worry.
You got the jokes on that, which is good.
That's just it. I just feel like it's just it's exhausting, like maneuvering in this world as it is. So it's just like when you have people around you that can be like, do you know what, you did all right. It's just like just a little sigh of relief. And then it's just but you didn't. It's just like it's all right.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? I think we'll all get there eventually. Eventually. But hopefully these conversations like this just kind of just help to broadcast and put more of that message out there. That, where we come from, there's a lot of talent here, and I hate when I hear people downgrade it because maybe they haven't quite achieved what they wanted to. So it's kind of like maybe just you haven't achieved what you needed to, but
that's your people, business.
It doesn't mean the area is everyone's doomed in the area. That's not true. So I just want to reaffirm that message, and bringing on some faces of people that are have a positive mindset and an outlook. That's for me, that is really all I'm about. But where can people find you Are you online like that? I know you're on Insta, obviously.
Yeah.
But,
I'm on the Instagram. Yeah, I just on Insta. Am I on anything else? Not really. Yeah.
Yeah, just
on
Insta.
Insta.
That's kind of what everyone else is.
Yeah, because it's just like I can't be bothered to keep up with. Like Twitter's a dangerous place.
I don't go over to those places. It's dangerous over
I
there.
don't venture far out, so
Yeah, it's dangerous over there. It's different. This is unfamiliar territory.
Exactly.
Like, it's unruly over there. It's unruly. So yeah, I keep myself over here.
At least
in
Instagram,
civilization.
I can when it's going left, you just log out and
it's time to go.
You're good to go. Literally,
try to find
just
something
that.
to do. But yeah, Twitter's a different vibe, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been blessed overall getting to sit down with you. Thank you for coming and sharing your time.
Thank you for having me.
I appreciate it. And yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed that little breakdown conversation. I mean, as I said, from the beauty side of things, the fashion, the sport, multi-talented, and we're just trying to keep a positive outlook, if you will, in these crazy times that we're living in.
Very crazy.
We're gonna wrap this up now, and hopefully get a chance to see you probably in the future. Come back and jump on another episode. It'll be good.
Sure.
If you've got time.
If
she's got time. If you've got time for us. Yeah, if you've got time and
I will always have time.
Alright, cool. Well, alright, until the next episode, guys. We will see you soon. Stay blessed.
Bye.
Peace and love.